Guys, Ross Marquand, the fabulous Ross Marquand is here with us. Thank you so much for accepting my daytime show interview that I'm doing here on Twitch.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Guys, for those of you who don't know, which you should know, Ross is Aaron on The Walking Dead and Redskull in Avengers, Endgame, and what's the other one called?
Infinity War.
Dude, you're looking, I like the beard and the hair is a tiny bit shorter. Has Aaron seen a clipperoo? That's the right word.
When I got on the show 7-8 years ago, I had a pretty decent beard, and I was like, "Can I keep this?" And they're like, "No, you gotta lose it." So ever since I've got on the show, I've been steadily, whittling away at the producers, begging them to let me have my beard back. So now I finally have it, and I'm very excited.
So though, you guys are living in a zombie apocalypse, though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. We should.
When would you be like keeping it all cute?
Yeah, they were like, "We need you to not look so terrible, so we're gonna, give you a proper haircut and beard trim." I was like, "Nah, nah."
Hey, Ross, were you in Phineas and Ferb? Were you? Probably, right? Talk to me about that.
I met Dan and Swampy.
Yeah, we have some mutual friends that work for Disney that create shows on Disney like Phineas and Ferb. What did you voice for Phineas?
So there was a Star Wars special. This was 2023. I want to say this was like the year before I got on Walking Dead, and there was a Star Wars special where I played Han Solo, and I've done Han for several projects over the years, but they were like, "I think this guy does Han Solo," and I was like,
"Let's call him for that."
It was cool.
What does your Han Solo sound like?
Well, it's just like it's a younger Harrison, so it's like, "Hey, Phineas, we got to go back to the Millennium Falcon. We got to get back there. You understand?" He's just like a little bit more cocky. Now Harrison Ford is just like very gruff and like, "We have to get out of here. We have to find a way back." It's just more complex and gravelly.
I geek out over your facial expressions when you voice these people, because I see Harrison when you're doing it. It's almost like the side nose twitch thing that he does. It's uncanny. My question for you is, when was the first time that you did a character or an actor impression or sound alike that you go, "Oh, I'm pretty good at this," and then all of a sudden you did another one, and then all of a sudden, like, what were you 5? Were you 12? What was it that like hit you?
I think I was about 6, but it wasn't the first one that I thought I was really good at. It was just the first one I did, which was Johnny Carson. And my parents, money was very tight in the 80s. Like, a lot of families were going through crazy recession, and like I think my dad, he told me he made $12,000 one year for a family of 5. Like, that's how tight money was.
Holy cow.
We were just freaking out because, like, not us so much, but our parents were just like, "Are we gonna lose the house? Are we gonna have to, like, how are we gonna make ends meet?" And I noticed that they were very upset all the time, and like the one thing that got them out of their kind of sad headspace was Johnny Carson. And I picked that up as a younger kid. Like, my brothers used to beat the crap out of me, and like everyone like uniformly watched Tonight Show, and it made everyone laugh. And I was like, if I can be like Johnny, the family will be happier, then they won't beat me up as much, like my brothers. And so that's just, I was like, I need to emulate him. And it worked, and like they were happier for that time, and I was like, "Oh, I should do more of these." And that's when like I started doing like John Travolta and all these other people.
Wait, you do John Travolta? I didn't know that one.
John Travolta, okay, I do John Travolta. All right, I do John Travolta. It's just a very sort of like clipped, like I do like young, like Vinnie Barbarino, like, or Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta. So I was like, before I went through puberty, I was able to do a lot of these guys a lot easier,
Oh, that's so funny. But you have a crazy control over your voice and where you place it. Is it up here? Is it here? Is it here? Or is it back here? I'm amazed. Tell me about your process. I know you've joked to me. You've said like, "Oh yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube and like imitate these people." But like, when you sit and you watch, Matthew McConaughey, he might be an easier one for you. Like, if there's a difficult one, like, what do you do to?
To be honest, I don't ever go into it thinking like I want to try to impersonate this person. Like, it's sometimes if I'm really struck by a person's performance, that's when I start to like ponder, oh, I wonder if I could sound like them. And it just kind of comes naturally. The only times that I've ever gone out of my way to learn somebody is if it's like an audition for a voice matching job, like where they're like, we really need you to sound like this actor, and can you do that? And I mean, recently I was asked to do Ben Affleck, and I tried my best, but I couldn't do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to even
it's not in your
waste your time with this audition. But most of the time, if I like somebody's performance, I really like study how they hold their body and their face, and like you can really tell how their sound's going to come out just by how they hold their body. Like James Gandolfini used to sit very much his neck, like his head was always forward, you know, and he talked through his nose, but his vocal cords were constricted because he was always sitting too far down in front of it. You know, if he came back here, it would probably sound a bit more almost regal, you know, almost British. But like, because he was down here, it was always right forward here. Like, what are you doing here? I'm gonna break your legs.
How did you click into Brad Pitt's mouth thing? Oh, but I mean, go give me your McConaughey. I'm all for it. I'm gonna geek out for you.
Yeah. Because Carolina, you're from Colombia, right? Now, if memory serves, they got some damn good coffee over there, don't they? They got some real nice coffee. It's all right. Yeah, all right, cool. But you understand, my favorite coffee in the world that I ever sampled was from Peru, and I don't know what it is, but the soil out there is really just the perfect.
Look, Matthew, I really appreciate this, but no, not Peru. I mean, you could have said Costa Rica, but like, come on.
I think actually Peruvian coffee is the best coffee I ever had, honestly.
I don't think I've had Peruvian, but I'm happy to taste it. Yeah, I'm Colombian, so I'm like, I buy Colombian coffee, but my cousin who's Colombian lives in Costa Rica, and he's like, sorry to say it, but Costa Rican coffee is the best.
Costa Rican's very good, but I gotta say, Peruvian.
Costa Rican is good. It's huge.
It's the best coffee you've ever had. Okay. Also, Thai coffee. Thai coffee is very good, okay? Thai coffee is tremendous. It's the best coffee.
Somebody just asked about your Antonio Banderas. That is uncanny to me because you white. And I think you do an amazing job. Like you and Eric Bauza. I'm like, how in God's name? I mean, he's got a little ethnic in him, so I'll give him that. But
okay, thank you.
No, your Antonio is incredible. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I love. I mean, Antonio's got one of those voices that's so rich. You know, it's just like he's another guy that I could just listen to for hours and hours. Like,
he has his way of speaking where everything is, sort of, he's very languid. You know, he enjoys every word that comes out of his mouth,
and it's like. He's like formulating sentences. I don't feel like he's ever had like an uncool moment in his life. I get the impression that Antonio came out just like smooth as hell and was just a cool guy. He's like, hello, mommy. I would like some leche, like smoking a cigar maybe. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh. And you do Colin Farrell. You do them all. It's a little crazy.
Colin Farrell, yes, of course. Good. Yeah. Haven't done him in a while, actually. I don't know why I don't. He's great. He's great. He's a great actor. Really is. He's good. Yeah. So
it's
all about the eyebrow. It's all about the eyebrow. Yeah. You just get right on the eyebrows and you're right as rain. Yeah.
What's your trick for learning all the pages you have to do for The Walking Dead?
I have a bit of a photographic memory, so like.
Damn you!
Sorry. No, I literally remember what the words look like on the page, and I just scan it. I just scan it each time. And I'm like that. I don't know if you've seen the meme of the kid who's like scooping words off the page and
I want that to happen to me. So a question came up earlier. If working on the Avengers, who was the best on set and who did you get to meet and work with? And my question beyond that too is, what was that experience like to get on that project? You obviously had to voice match the Deuterino that did that character before, but how were you, the Deuterino, how were you approached for this? What was that experience like?
So I was towards the end of filming season 8, I think. And this was 2017, so like it was like October of 2017. They had tried to get Hugo Weaving, who had played Redskull before, and I think there was a scheduling conflict and business affairs couldn't work it out. And they were getting towards the end of the production, so they were like, we really need to get this locked in. And they had some people auditioned, and there was even a guy who stand in with Josh Brolin and Zoe Saldana, and also with Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner. But I never met any of them. They had already filmed their portion with, they filmed their portion with the stand-in months prior, apparently.
Yeah.
And they brought me in, and I get there, and they, in the motion capture suit and putting the dots on the face, and I get in, it's like 150 people in this massive sound stage, and I was like, oh my God, it was not expecting all this, and it was amazing. I mean, like, afterwards, the Russo brothers and the producers were like, thank you so much. Like, we were really worried that we're gonna have to scrap this character, because R&D for it cost, several thousands of dollars, because they wanted to bring Redskull back, but they didn't know if they were ever going to get Hugo. I always loved Redskull. I used to draw Redskull all the time as a kid. Like, it was like one of the coolest sensations ever working on that, honestly.
So it was just 2 days on set, or one day?
One day, just one day. It was
that
like
is so crazy.
7 hours, I want to say 7 or 8 hours. That was it. And I mean, that's the cool thing about when, mocap, you've done mocap many times, like when you're in that thing, all the data they need, I mean, when you're wearing the head camera over your face, all the data they need is collected from the camera on you, and also in the diodes in your suit. So like all that data, the motion, everything is downloaded to a computer, and it's like literally downloading that CGI information in real time in a very like crazy, loose, gray form, as but like when it's all cut together, they've added all the mapping and everything else, and it's such a fun way to work, because it feels like, I don't know if you felt this way, but it felt like doing theater again. It felt like we were doing theater in the round, where like there is no proscenium arch. You don't have to look this way or this way. Everywhere you're acting to everyone, and there is no place that you can, you have to worry about turning your back to or front to. Like, it's everybody.
So for The Walking Dead, had you auditioned a ton before? Was it, what was that like? Because did you know by the time you came on, it was already a pretty big hit, right? So you knew it wasn't like, oh, this pilot that may or may not get picked up.
Yeah, I auditioned for that show. It was ironically one of my favorite shows, and I wanted to get onto that, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, and or Sons of Anarchy. I made it onto 2 of them.
Wait, you said Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, and which other one?
Mad Men.
Oh, and that you got on that one.
Breaking Bad,
yeah.
But didn't make it on the other 2, of course, but I was really happy to make it on, Mad Men for an episode. And then I auditioned for Walking Dead 2 times prior to it, and came very, very close to booking the role of Gareth. I don't think you watched the show, but he's a cannibal. I was really bummed when I didn't get that part. I was like, man, that could have been so amazing. But I had given up acting, as I've told you this story a million times, but like I gave up acting 7 years ago, and was fully prepared to move to New York, pursue photography and writing and art, and just like do my own thing. Would have like a boring like 9-to-5 job to pay the bills, but then I was going to do my art at night. And I wanted that. I really wanted to live that life. And then a month after making that decision, I got the call for the audition, and I was like, initially, no thanks. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to go into New York with another rejection under my belt. And my manager convinced me to go out of respect for the casting director, Bialy Thomas, who were amazing. And I said, I do want to respect them and their time. They've fought for me a lot over the years. And so I went there not thinking anything, like, I'm just going to do this, say hi to them, hi and bye one last time. Like, great to see you guys. Thanks for believing in me. I'm giving up as an actor. Like, I didn't tell them all that, but I was in the back of my mind. It's good to see you guys. And I, thank you for believing in me, because I sure didn't. And then a week later on my birthday, I was sick as a dog. And I got the call at 5:00 that night that I got the part, and I instantly felt better. Like, I felt like a champion.
And it was, at this point, it was a recurring, it was a series regular. What was it?
At that point, it was a recurring. It was just like, we don't know where this character is going. And I didn't know anything about the character either, because you audition with fake sides. And, when I finally got there and I met, all the people from the show that I loved, I was like, this is the most surreal.
Guys, it's been lovely having you. Thank you so much for joining us. Check him out at Ross Marquand on all the socials.
All the socials.
Guys, we love you. Bye.